لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأن محمدا عبده ورسوله. I titled my talk Positive and Alternative Narratives just because they told me to do so. What I'm going to talk about actually is my own experience, my journey basically. My journey in life that led me at the end to write this book, that I use it as a counter-narrative in many places, in many areas, using various mediums. So I'm going to start by telling you that years ago, in the early 60s of the last century, I was a young man living in Beirut, Lebanon. And I had what I believe to be a legitimate dream. I believe that the many Arab countries will one day get together and unite. This union of Arab states will be important economically because we need to produce prosperity for me and for the other young Arabs who are starting their life. It will be important morally because young men like me want to live in a place where all citizens are equal under the law and where we have justice for all. It will be important militarily because we shouldn't lose more territories to Israel that is already getting away with the majority of the Palestinian territory. That was in the 60s, early 60s. These were my dreams at that time. All we need to do, I believe, is to work hard for that union with other young people in other countries, and it will happen. Every morning I woke up and hope that there are events taking place that will make that dream closer to happen. Then we had the disaster of 1967. A defeat that the Arabs suffered. A defeat that shattered my dreams. A defeat that all Arabs are still paying for until today. If you don't know what 1967 means and the significance of what I'm talking about, we can discuss it later in the question and answer. But it is a significant event in my life and the life of my generation. If you think that Daesh happened a couple of years ago, you are naive. Daesh happened when the Arabs got defeated in 1967. Most of the important events that happened since that time were a reaction to that defeat, including the military dictators that took over Syria and Iraq. Every dictator we got in the Arab world came with the promise to help us realize my dream. Arab unity. They were all liars. Once they captured the leadership position, they held into it and they didn't want to leave. So I immigrated to the United States where the same dream became true. They were fragmented and they united. They needed to build a new republic and they built a democratic republic with a constitution that gives every citizen the right to live free and with dignity. A question, however, kept coming to my mind. If it is possible for the American people to unite, why is it impossible for the Arabs to do the same? Wiser people kept telling me that they will not let us do so. So I kept looking for those they, hoping to find them one day and understand why their children are allowed to have the American dream, why our children are not. Now, if Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi had my dream, by the way, he's younger, couldn't have had my dream, but if he had my dream, Daesh territories would have been a place where people are struggling to practice freedom and equality. Their women will have full rights, where the word minority will not exist because every citizen, regardless of their choice of religion, will have full rights as citizens. This is what I or any of the people I know will do. But apparently, he did not have my dream. He did not even strive to make Muslims look good. His state appeared to purposefully ruin all integrity Muslims had, as if his purpose is to make our children ashamed to call themselves Muslims. Living in the States since 1969, I found myself on the defensive 24/7. Even when I'm asleep, I'm thinking of scenarios. What to say, how to say it, who am I going to be talking to, what church I'm addressing, what college I'm talking to, 24/7. Some American Muslims reacted, though, by becoming stealth Muslims. They're here, but you don't see them. You don't want to be seen. Others were in disbelief or denial since 9/11. The slap on the face was so strong, made them lose touch with reality, Yet others naively decided all we need to do is to educate our American neighbors to what Islam is. Of course, a religion of peace, and all will be well. That I was one of those naive Muslims. Things did not get better, they got worse. Islamophobia became a thriving industry, and the Islamophobes were growing in strength and numbers. The more atrocities Daesh committed, the larger the number of the Islam haters became. The counter-narrative in the state was designed to stop young Muslims from getting influenced by Daesh or poisoned by its narrative. It also was designed as a self-defense against Islamophobia. For me, the problem was that I'm getting older, and my dreams are not only getting shattered. It became obvious that I will not live long enough to see any of them become a reality. So while praying one day, usually praying starts with Fajr. So whatever good ideas I have, they start after Fajr prayer. While praying one day, I decided that the only counter-narrative that I can use to fight Daesh and all the others who want to prevent me from dreaming is to focus on the root causes that reduce Muslims from leaders in every field of science into useless consumers who don't even produce the food they eat. That root cause was, in a very frightening way, very obvious. Muslims are not thinking. They are not using reason. They simply follow what the so-called scholar teach them about their religion. For around 1,000 years, Muslims were not allowed to think. If one wanted to discuss a verse in the Quran, for instance, the sheikh in the mosque will stop him and he will warn him not to venture into this slippery road. Why try to attempt to understand on your own? Go and consult one of the books of tafsir. They will give you what you want. You will understand. The safest way, they tell him, is to go back and read a legitimate book of tafsir. They are all there, so why even try to take the risk? The same applied if a Muslim had a question on a fiqh or jurisprudence issue. Don't think. The 4 mazhabs or school of thoughts are there. Simply choose one and you will get your answer. Consequently, we didn't use our brains for a long, long time. Never mind that in all this was produced long time ago, and the issues don't apply in today's world. This process I call the closing of the Muslim mind, and it worked. Then we had the movement of Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab in the Arabian Peninsula. To many, this movement was a reform movement. Its focus, however, was not how to integrate in the modern world, but how to further withdraw from it into Puritanism. The ideal situation to the followers of that movement was to revive the way of life of the Prophet, peace be upon him. The best century for them was the 7th century. And as Muslims moved to the 8th and the 9th and the 10th century, they further corrupted their religion. That's what they think. The extremists among the Wahhabis hate all others, but they're not all alike. Yet today Saudi Arabia is a changing place. Change is happening at a very fast rate. So how to overcome the root cause of our backwardness? Years of re-examining and analyzing the situation led me to the conclusion that I need to go back to the Quran and I need to look at it with fresh eyes as it was revealed yesterday. I needed to try to understand it, but this time I needed to use modern tools of knowledge. Yani I don't only use Ibn Kathir, but I also use NASA and their findings. As a result, I was able, after 6 years of full-time work, to produce this book. I wasn't alone. I didn't do the work alone. I had many people helping. I selected people to help in every area that I needed help with. And those people came from around the world. I had groups in Iraq, groups in the United States, group in Yemen, groups everywhere. Anybody that wanted to help and heard about the project, and you all heard about the project, I explained how, because I was very active on Facebook, and I still am. So everybody heard about the project, and everybody wanted to extend a hand. Well, what does this have to do with the alternative narrative? With the new translation, I have a similar document, similar to the group of 152 leading Islamic scholars who in September 2014, some 3 months after the proclamation of the Caliphate, wrote a letter to Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi outlining what they consider to be errors and violation of Islamic and international laws committed by the leaders and followers of ISIS. Here is a sample of their 24 objections. They say it is forbidden in Islam to force people to convert. And of course they use the ayahs. There are several ayahs. No compulsion in religion. You have your religion and I have mine. Several ayahs we can talk about. It is forbidden in Islam to deny women their right. Allah in the Quran talks about man and woman, believer male and believer female. It is forbidden in Islam to kill the innocent. The reintroduction of slavery is forbidden in Islam. Islam, as a matter of fact, based on what I studied, slowly closed that door, an economic door. Slavery was economic, and it's shut forever, not supposed to be reopened. It is forbidden in Islam to torture people. It is forbidden in Islam to declare a caliphate without consensus from all Muslims. This is not me talking. This is the close to 150 Muslim scholars in their letter to Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. It is forbidden in Islam to declare a caliphate without consensus from all Muslims. As a matter of fact, my personal conclusion is that caliphate was good while it lasted. Today, we need to live in countries that have a constitution, that ensure freedom to everybody, ensure equal citizenship to all the citizens, no minorities and majorities. We have citizenship. Basically, a place where everybody feels that they belong, everybody feels that they have respect. This is the kind of state that I think is a state for the future of Muslims, a place where every citizen can find dignity. They told him after the death of the Prophet, Islam does not require anyone to immigrate anywhere. And then finally they told him jihad in Islam is a defensive war. Almost all schools that teach Islam nowadays, they teach you that there are two kinds of jihad. Jihad al-dafa' and jihad al-talab. Jihad al-dafa is a defensive war. You fight to defend your state. From studying the Sunnah and the Seerah, I found out that the Prophet did not transgress against anybody, did not initiate a war against anybody. He and the group of Muslims, and other than Muslims, were trying to defend themselves all the time. And that was not permitted until he moved to Medina. So the first 11 years of da'wah, he didn't even defend himself. He didn't even lift a finger to prevent somebody from insulting him, or insulting another Muslim, or hurting another Muslim, or torturing another Muslim. So suddenly we have what's called Ghazawat al-Rasul. What Ghazawat? What Ghazawat? Shame on you. He defended himself. He did not surprise anybody. He didn't go at night to steal like you used to do in Jahiliyyah. He is a mercy to mankind, to humanity. He's not a thief in the middle of the night doing ghazawat. There is no ghazawat in Islam. I don't care what anybody call it. I don't see it as such. So this jihad of talab, jihad on demand, actually, if you want to translate it into English. I don't know when it started, how it became legitimate for us to go somewhere, to a place where people never heard about us. They're not aggressive against us. We're not talking about Byzantia or Faris. We're talking about somewhere in the middle of the boondocks, and telling them you have three choices. Either you become Muslim, or you pay jizya, or we're going to cut your throat. They couldn't have learned that from Prophet Muhammad. My Prophet had a tender heart. I know him intimately. He does not cut people's throats like this. Anywhere in the Sunnah you see people getting their throats cut at an order from the Prophet, you need to doubt that. He wasn't a cutthroat man. Your job, if you represent Islam religiously, or if you belong to an institution that teaches Islam, is to go and do the revision. The Seerah of Ibn Ishaq need to be filtered. The Seerah of Ibn Hisham need to be filtered. A lot of our hadiths need to be filtered until our Prophet is again mercy to humanity. Anyway, after I finished translating the Quran, I asked myself a question. What is Allah trying to tell me in this book? What is the essence of this book? I wasn't talking about the translation, I was talking about the Arabic Quran. This is not a Quran, by the way. It cannot be a Quran. It's only a translation of the meaning. That means it is what I understood the Quran to tell me. It has no holiness. It cannot have any holiness. It's just a translation. So what is the Quran is trying to tell me? The answer was freedom. The essence of the Quran is freedom. How did I arrive to that conclusion? Suddenly, several ayahs came to mind. Allah in the Quran says we have honored the children of Adam. He didn't say we have honored the Muslims. He didn't say we have honored the people of Quraysh. He didn't say we have honored only few. If they do this, that, and the other, he said we have honored the children of Adam. That includes Dick, Harry, and all the rest of them. Everybody. Chinese, Japanese, Americans, everybody. They're all the children of Adam. So he honored them. How did he honor them? He honored them with consciousness and reason. We're the only creatures with consciousness and reason. So the honor here is use your consciousness and use your reason. And I want you to come to me with your free will. I don't want you to come to me under duress. I don't want you to come to me because you have to come to me. As a matter of fact, I believe that if you spend your whole life doing the right things that you need to do, but you're doing them under duress, they don't count. You have a free will, and you have to honor that gift that God gave you, each one of us. If we don't do this, we're not worthy of calling ourselves Muslim, and we're not worthy to read that book. Then I noticed that in the Quran, Allah says, Ya ibadi alladhina asrafu ala anfusihim. He didn't say, Ya abidi, Ya ibadi. And he says, Wa ibadur rahman, alladhina yamshuna ala al-ardi hamna. Ibad and abid are two words, one letter difference. One means worshippers, the other means slaves. God did not call us slaves in the Quran. He called us worshippers. This is part of honoring us. He wants worshippers, he doesn't want slaves. So anytime anybody try to call you to slavery, say slavery is not wanted or needed on earth. The day of judgment, we will all be slaves. We have no opinion. We have nothing to express. We have no right to even speak. At that time, that day, that specific day, we're slaves. Today, we're free human beings. So we have to exercise that freedom. If freedom is the essence of the Quran, what will this lead to? It leads simply to compassionate justice, not to dry justice, not to justice of an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, but to compassionate justice, because God is described himself as merciful to all, mercy giver. Because the word Ar-Rahman, which is the merciful to all, has a root in Arabic. That root is Raham, and the Raham is the womb of a mother. So if Allah is as merciful to us as a mother to her baby, we ought to have merciful justice, compassionate justice, not dry justice. So how do I use this book as an alternative narrative? I have 3 pages on FB with several thousand followers. Some are here now, in this room. And I post every day using the principles I found in the Quran translation while I'm reading the Quran, and I am trying to spread those understandings. I write in Huffington Post very regularly. As a matter of fact, yesterday I had an article. It's number 3 of a series called The Virtue of Love in Islam. One day I was talking about love in Islam, and this young lady stood up and she said, Christians have love. We don't have love. I said, sit down, let me talk to you about how much love we have. I'll tell you very quickly. One of the beautiful attributes of Allah is Al-Wajid, the one that makes things appear. From nothing into appearance. Al-Wajid. Al-Wajid has one root, Wijd. Wijd is intense love. He created us because he loves us. All of us, the believers and the non-believers. How he will treat us later on is his business. How we treat each other on earth is our business. Prove who you are by competing with others in doing what's good, not in killing others and calling them names and accusing them of all kind of things. This is who we are. This is my identity as a Muslim. This is the Islam I belong to. While some experts claim that the appeal of Daesh to Muslims' youth has little or nothing to do with religion, but is more a reflection of a youth revolt among Muslims and a countercultural response and search for identity among converts. The position taken here is that a new understanding of the Quran is crucial and central for providing an alternative narrative. Sometime in the future, Daesh will disappear. And something new with similar ideology probably, or different ideology will appear. Yet the tool of thinking and rethinking about why I am on this planet and how I can contribute to make it a better place to live for my grandchildren and for humanity is spelled in the Quran, and I consider my translation a tool to use for providing this alternative narratives among those who don't speak Arabic. So this book encourages people to do critical thinking about everything relating to why they're here, what role they should play, how to benefit other people, how to live our life. This is the benefit of critical thinking that I included here. Thank you very much.